Welcome back to the channel Wisdom of Stoicism. Have you ever had that strange feeling? Like something in your life is about to shift? You can't explain it, but deep down you sense it. The job that once excited you feels empty. The conversations with friends don't spark the same joy. You wake up, look around, and wonder, is this it? Or is life preparing you for something bigger? The truth is, life always gives us signs before big changes happen. But most of the time, we're too busy or too afraid to notice them. We hold on to comfort, routines, and the safety of the familiar. But according to Stoic philosophy, change isn't just necessary. It's inevitable. And if you resist it, you risk missing out on the very things that could shape your future. In this video, we're going to uncover 8 clear signs that your life is about to change forever. These signs are subtle, but once you see them, you can't unsee them. And when you do, you'll realize that change isn't the enemy. It's an invitation to grow, to evolve, to become the person you're meant to be. So, if you've been feeling stuck, uncertain, or just ready for something to happen, this is your wake-up call. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you won't just know what these signs are. You'll know exactly how to face them with strength, wisdom, and courage, just like the Stoics did. Because sometimes, the moment you notice the signs is the moment your entire life begins to shift. The Stoic view on change. Change. It's something we all experience, yet it often feels uncomfortable and even frightening. One day, life feels stable, predictable, and safe. Then suddenly, everything shifts. A job ends. A relationship fades. You feel restless, uncertain, and maybe even lost. But here's the truth. Change is not the enemy. In fact, it's one of the few things in life we can be absolutely sure of. The ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus understood this better than anyone. They believed that change is a natural part of life. It's not something to resist, but something to accept and even welcome. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, once said, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." This means that while we can't control what happens around us, we can control how we respond. And it's in our response where true strength and growth lie. Think about it. How many times have you looked back on a difficult change and realized it was the best thing that ever happened to you? That breakup that hurt so much but led you to find real love later. That job loss that pushed you to discover your passion. These moments, though painful, often lead to growth we couldn't have imagined. The Stoics didn't see change as bad or good. They saw it as neutral, just a part of life. The key was to focus on what they could control, like their thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while accepting what they couldn't. And that's the mindset we need to adopt when life feels uncertain. Instead of fearing change, we can choose to embrace it. We can prepare our minds for it, learn from it, and use it as an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and better. Because the truth is, change is coming for all of us. Sometimes it's gentle and sometimes it's sudden. But if we pay attention, life will give us signs. And if we're ready, we can use those signs to guide us into the next, better chapter of our lives. In this video, we'll explore the 8 powerful signs that your life is about to change forever. If you've noticed even one of these, it means a new chapter is on the horizon. And by understanding these signs, you'll be better prepared to handle change with courage and clarity, just as the Stoics did. So let's begin. Sign 1. Discomfort in your current situation. Have you ever felt this deep, nagging discomfort in your life? Like something just isn't right, even though everything seems okay on the surface? You wake up, go to work, hang out with friends, and follow the same routine every day. But deep down, there's this feeling you can't shake, like you're meant for something more, like you're stuck in a life that doesn't quite fit anymore. This discomfort is more than just boredom. It's an inner alarm. It's life's way of telling you that change is coming. And if you're feeling it right now, it could mean your life is about to take a new direction. The Stoic philosophers believed that discomfort is a powerful sign. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic thinker, once said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, that uncomfortable feeling isn't something to fear. It's a signal. It's your mind and body telling you that it's time to grow. Think about it. Growth never happens when we're completely comfortable. It happens when we feel challenged, when we feel restless, when we feel like we're stuck in a place that no longer serves us. It's in those moments of discomfort that we start to ask the big questions. Is this really the life I want? Or am I living up to my true potential? Let me give you an example. Imagine a man who's worked the same job for years. Pays well, the schedule is predictable, and everyone around him thinks he's successful. But lately, he dreads getting up in the morning. He feels drained, like his work has lost its meaning. He doesn't feel challenged. He feels stuck. That discomfort is his mind pushing him toward change. It's saying, "You're ready for something more." But here's the thing, most people ignore that feeling. They push it aside, convincing themselves that it's just a phase or that they should be grateful for what they have. But Stoicism teaches us that discomfort isn't something to avoid. It's something to listen to. Discomfort means you're growing beyond the life you're living. It means you're ready for the next chapter, even if you don't know what that chapter looks like yet. It's your inner wisdom pushing you to ask, what's next? So, if you're feeling this way, restless, uncomfortable, even trapped, don't ignore it. Sit with that feeling. Reflect on it. Ask yourself what it's trying to teach you, because this might just be the moment before everything changes. And here's a thought. What if this discomfort isn't a problem? What if it's a gift? A chance to break free from the routine and step into a life that's more meaningful and true to who you are? The Stoics believed that life is always moving, always changing. And when discomfort shows up, it's not there to punish you. It's there to prepare you, to shake you awake and remind you that you're capable of more. So don't run from it. Don't numb it. Listen to it. It might be uncomfortable now, but it's leading you toward growth, freedom, and a life that feels right. Sign 2. Losing interest in things that once excited you. Have you ever found yourself losing interest in things you once loved? Maybe it's a hobby, a job, or even a relationship that used to bring you joy. At one point, you felt excited and driven, but now it just feels empty. It's like a shift has happened within you, and suddenly, the things you used to chase don't seem worth the effort anymore. If you've experienced this, know that it's not a bad thing. It's actually a sign that something deeper is happening in your life. According to Stoic philosophy, change is a natural part of being human. The Stoics believed that we are constantly evolving, and with that evolution comes a change in our interests, priorities, and passions. And guess what? That's okay. In fact, the Stoics would argue that it's a sign of personal growth when you start losing interest in things that no longer serve you. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, often reflected on the importance of letting go of things that were no longer beneficial. He said, "Time is a gift, and you should not waste it on things that don't align with your true purpose." When we outgrow things, it's a signal that we're moving toward a more focused and meaningful life. Think about it for a second. How many times have you stayed involved in something just because you felt you had to? Maybe it's a job that doesn't excite you anymore, but you've stayed for the paycheck. Or a hobby you once loved, but now it feels more like a chore. The Stoic approach is different. Instead of sticking with things out of obligation, Stoics teach us to align our actions with our deeper values and purpose. This doesn't mean we should give up on everything at the first sign of boredom. It's about being honest with ourselves. Ask yourself, does this still bring me joy? Does it contribute to my growth and well-being? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. And it's okay to let go. There's no shame in releasing things that no longer resonate with your life's journey. In fact, it's often necessary. The Stoics believed that by shedding the things that weigh us down, we make space for new, more meaningful experiences. We free ourselves to pursue what truly matters. So, if you're noticing that you've started to lose interest in certain things, take a moment to reflect. Maybe it's time to redirect your energy towards something that aligns better with who you are today. Trust the process. Trust that change is a sign you're evolving, and embrace it with open arms. The Stoic mindset teaches us that everything is temporary, And that's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. As we grow, we make room for new passions, new relationships, and new challenges that align more with our values. Let go of what no longer serves you, and you'll find yourself opening doors to new opportunities you never even imagined. Sign 3. Encountering new and unexpected challenges. At some point, we all face unexpected challenges. It might feel like the universe suddenly threw a curveball your way, something you weren't prepared for. It could be losing a job, dealing with a sudden illness, or facing a personal crisis that shakes your entire world. But according to Stoic philosophy, these challenges aren't here to break you. They're here to shape you. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." It's not just a quote, it's a mindset. When life throws challenges your way, instead of retreating or panicking, you have the power to use those challenges to grow stronger. Think about it. Every major obstacle you face can become a stepping stone. Let me give you an example. Imagine you've just been laid off from your job. First, it feels like everything is falling apart. You may start questioning yourself, your abilities, or even your worth. But this moment, this challenge, is not the end. It's the beginning of something new. It's an opportunity to reflect and think, what can I learn from this? How can I turn this into a new path for growth? It's in these moments that Stoicism teaches us the importance of our mindset. Instead of viewing challenges as problems, we should see them as opportunities. Challenges are the universe's way of testing us, pushing us to grow, and showing us our true potential. It's in the face of difficulty that we often discover our deepest strengths. Here's where the power of choice comes in. You have two choices when you encounter a challenge. You can choose to let it defeat you, or you can choose to face it head-on, using it as fuel for your growth. Think of it like a muscle. The more you face adversity, the stronger you become. Each time you overcome a challenge, no matter how small, you're training yourself to be more resilient. But what if the challenge feels too big? What if it's so overwhelming that you don't even know where to start? The Stoics have an answer for that too. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, taught that it's not the event itself that disturbs us, but our thoughts about the event. So, instead of dwelling on how difficult the challenge seems, shift your focus to the action you can take, no matter how small. Start by taking one small step. Maybe it's updating your resume, starting a new project, or simply taking the time to reflect and regain clarity. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. So, the next time life presents an unexpected challenge, remember, it's not a setback. It's an invitation to level up. You are capable of handling it, and with the right mindset, it can become the opportunity you've been waiting for. Sign 4. A growing desire for solitude and reflection. Have you ever felt a sudden urge to spend time alone? Not because you're lonely, but because you crave clarity, peace, and an opportunity to reflect. This is one of the most powerful signs that your life is about to change forever. At first, it might feel strange. You might think there's something wrong with you, like you're pushing people away. But in reality, it's a natural part of growth. Solitude isn't about being isolated. It's about reconnecting with yourself. It's in these quiet moments that you start to understand what truly matters. Imagine this scenario. You've been surrounded by people, busy with life, constantly running from one task to another. You think you're happy, but there's a nagging feeling deep inside. You don't know what's wrong, but you know you need something different. So you decide to take a break, just a day, maybe two, by yourself with no distractions. At first, the silence feels uncomfortable, but soon it becomes a sanctuary. You start to hear your thoughts more clearly. You begin to notice things you've been ignoring. Your dreams, your fears, your goals. In solitude, you can't escape from your true self. And that's when the change begins. This is exactly what the Stoics teach us. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, often sought moments of solitude to clear his mind and reflect. He believed that in stillness, we find the answers to life's greatest questions. He wrote in his journal, Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Solitude allows you to step away from the noise of the world and reconnect with your deeper thoughts and desires. It helps you filter out the distractions and focus on what truly matters. The Stoics believed that the mind needs time to rest and recalibrate. It's not about being away from people forever. It's about finding the balance to recharge and reflect. Think of it like this: we all have a running playlist in our heads, thoughts about work, family, and everything else. But sometimes, to hear the music of your soul, you need to turn off the noise. And that's what solitude does. It gives you the space to think about your life without external pressures or opinions. As you embrace solitude, you'll start to see that it's not just about being alone. It's about becoming more in tune with who you really are. It's about finding peace within yourself so that when you return to the world, you can give your best, most focused self to those around you. So, if you're feeling the pull for more time alone, don't resist it. Embrace it. In those quiet moments, the clarity and strength you need for your next life chapter will reveal itself. Sign 5. Feeling out of place in your social circle. Have you ever felt like you just don't fit in with your friends or the people around you anymore? It's almost like you're going through life and everyone else is stuck in the same routines, while you feel this growing sense that you're moving in a different direction. You start noticing that your conversations feel shallow, or maybe the things you used to laugh about don't bring the same joy. It's like you're in a room full of people, but you're not truly with them anymore. This isn't something to fear, though. In fact, it might be one of the clearest signs that your life is about to change forever. The Stoics, particularly people like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, believe that as you grow and evolve, so too must your relationships. Change is inevitable, and sometimes it means outgrowing the circles that once felt comfortable. Imagine this: you've spent years with a group of friends. You've gone through ups and downs, shared countless memories, and built a sense of connection. But now you're feeling different. The things they talk about don't interest you anymore. The jokes don't make sense. Your values might be shifting, and suddenly you realize you want more out of life than what these old friends can offer. This is a crucial moment, and it's okay. In fact, the Stoics would say this is a sign of growth. They teach us that we must constantly be evolving, and part of that evolution means reassessing who we surround ourselves with. If you're finding that certain people no longer align with the person you're becoming, it's okay to acknowledge that and start letting go. Associate with people who improve you, said Seneca. And this doesn't mean you should abandon everyone who doesn't share your new perspective. It simply means recognizing when it's time to seek out relationships that challenge you to be better, that align with your growth, and that support your new direction. At first, this might feel lonely or uncomfortable. We're naturally social beings, and we like to belong. But here's where the wisdom of Stoicism can help you. Instead of clinging to relationships out of fear or nostalgia, the Stoics urge us to embrace solitude when necessary. Solitude isn't about being lonely. It's about creating space for self-reflection and realigning with what truly matters to you. So, if you're noticing that you feel out of place in your social circle, don't panic. Instead, view it as an opportunity to grow, to redefine your values, and to seek out people who are on a similar path, people who will inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Remember, it's not about cutting people off out of anger or bitterness. It's about making room for the right kind of energy in your life. Trust that as you evolve, so will your circle of friends. And sometimes that means letting go of the old to welcome the new. Sign 6. A stronger pull towards purpose and meaning. You know that feeling when everything in life seems to be on track, but something still feels off? Like you're doing everything you're supposed to, but it doesn't really satisfy you anymore. You start questioning, is this all there is? What am I really meant to do with my life? If you've been feeling this way, you might be experiencing one of the clearest signs that your life is about to change forever. It's the powerful urge to seek deeper purpose and meaning. This isn't just about finding a new hobby or changing careers. It's about reevaluating your entire perspective on life. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, understood this deeply. They believed that living a life of meaning and purpose was the key to true fulfillment. It wasn't about accumulating wealth or accolades, but about understanding your role in the world and living in accordance with your values. For a lot of people, this shift happens when they hit a certain point in their lives. Maybe you've had a taste of success, or maybe you've gone through a difficult time. Either way, it triggers something inside you, a kind of inner awakening. You start to realize that the things that once motivated you, money, social status, or material stuff, don't bring you the satisfaction they once did. Instead, you begin to feel a pull towards something deeper. This is what the Stoics would call the search for eudaimonia, a life well lived, driven by purpose, virtue, and alignment with your true self. And it's a sign that you're starting to look beyond the surface, ready to explore what really matters. It might seem confusing at first, but it's actually a beautiful thing. You're shedding old skin, moving beyond the things that no longer serve you, and embracing a new way of thinking. It doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities or what you've already built. Rather, it means redefining what truly brings you joy and fulfillment. Maybe now you feel an urge to give back, help others, or create something meaningful. Maybe you want to leave a legacy or focus more on your health and relationships. The Stoics would tell you, this is the time to listen to those calls. It's the natural process of growth. So, if you're feeling this pull to something bigger, don't ignore it. Take it as a sign that you're on the right track. Ask yourself what truly excites you, what gives your life meaning, and align your actions with those answers. Life doesn't have to be a constant chase after success. It can be a journey of discovering what matters most and living in a way that reflects that. This is when real transformation begins. You'll find yourself waking up with purpose every day, living in alignment with your values, and creating a life that's truly fulfilling. And that's the kind of change that lasts forever. Sign 7. Increased sensitivity to time and mortality. Have you ever had one of those moments where everything seems to pause, and you realize just how fast life is moving? Maybe it's after a milestone birthday, the loss of someone close, or even just a quiet moment alone. You start thinking, wow, time is slipping away, and I haven't done everything I wanted to do. It's like a sudden awakening. You begin to realize that time, more than anything else, is the most valuable thing we have. This is one of the most profound signs that change is on the horizon. It's a realization that most people experience at some point in their life, sometimes much earlier than expected. And the Stoics? They were all too familiar with this. They taught us something very important, memento mori, which translates to remember you will die. It sounds a bit harsh at first, right? But it's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. When we become more aware of time, we start to prioritize what really matters. You might feel an urge to stop wasting time on trivial things. The long hours spent scrolling through social media, arguing over insignificant details, or putting off things you've always wanted to do. Those things just don't feel as important anymore. What really becomes significant is how you spend your time today, right now. Are you doing things that align with your true values, or are you just passing time? This shift in perspective often leads to big changes. Suddenly, you might feel a need to make bold decisions, whether that's in your career, your relationships, or even your daily habits. The Stoics understood that it's not about avoiding death. It's about embracing the reality that we don't know how much time we have left. So, we must live intentionally. Every day is a chance to move closer to what truly matters. Think about it for a second. If you knew that you only had 1 year left to live, how would that change how you spend your days? Would you keep putting off your dreams? Would you keep procrastinating on those things you've been meaning to do for years? Probably not. The Stoics understood that death wasn't a negative thing to fear, but a powerful reminder to live with purpose. It's the greatest motivator for action. So, if you're feeling this heightened awareness of time and mortality, it's a sign that you're ready for change. Don't push these feelings aside. Instead, embrace them. Let them guide you toward living a more meaningful life. Let them remind you to focus on the things that matter: your family, your passions, your health, your growth. By accepting that time is limited, we can make each moment count. So, take a step back and ask yourself, how am I spending my time right now? And is it bringing me closer to the person I want to be? The answers might surprise you. And most importantly, This realization can push you to finally take the leap toward the life you've always dreamed of. Sign 8. Feeling an urge to break free from routine. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in the same cycle? Like your life is a repeat button you can't stop pressing? You wake up, go to work, handle the same tasks, talk to the same people, and then do it all again the next day. It's comfortable, yes, but after a while, it starts to feel like you're just going through the motions. That's the moment you start to feel a powerful urge to break free. Maybe you've noticed yourself daydreaming about something different, something more fulfilling. You might have a deep craving for a change, even if you're unsure of what that change looks like. You want to experience new things, step outside your usual comfort zone, and explore a side of yourself you've been ignoring. This, my friend, is a clear sign that change is already knocking on your door. The Stoics had a very clear perspective on this. They believed in living life with intention, not simply drifting through the days. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, often reminded himself to live with purpose and to avoid becoming too comfortable in routine. He said, "Do not be careless in your actions, but aim to live each moment with purpose." This feeling of wanting to break free isn't random. It's a sign that you are ready to step into a new phase of your life. Your routine, while safe, can also be limiting. It might be holding you back from realizing your true potential. Stoicism teaches us to embrace change, not to fear it. Life is fluid, and by staying rigid in our habits, we are denying ourselves the opportunity to grow. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a new adventure, but you're afraid to take that first step because you're unsure of what lies beyond your comfort zone. The Stoics would tell you that it's okay to feel that fear, but don't let it control you. In fact, they would argue that breaking free from routine is exactly what you need to move forward. Here's a simple exercise. Think about something you've always wanted to do, but haven't. Maybe it's taking a trip, starting a new hobby, or even switching careers. Now, ask yourself, what's holding you back? If the answer is comfort, it might be time to challenge that. Stoicism teaches us that true fulfillment comes not from the predictable, but from embracing the unknown with open arms. Breaking free from routine doesn't have to mean making huge, life-altering decisions right away. It can start small, by taking a different route to work, picking up a new book, or having a conversation with someone you wouldn't normally talk to. These small changes, when made consistently, can create a ripple effect that leads to bigger transformations in your life. Remember, the Stoics understood that change is inevitable. They didn't run from it. They ran toward it with courage and clarity. They saw life as an opportunity to grow, and to never let the fear of breaking from routine stop them from living fully. So, if you feel that urge to break free from your routine, don't ignore it. Embrace it. Change is on the horizon, and it's up to you to decide how you'll respond. Embracing change the Stoic way. Now that you've recognized these 8 signs, let's talk about how you can embrace change, just like the Stoics did. Stoicism teaches us that change is a part of life. It's not something to fear. In fact, it's something to welcome. When we face change with the right mindset, we don't feel lost or helpless. Instead, we can take control of how we respond to it. The Stoics believed in focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't. In every moment of change, ask yourself, what's in my control and what's out of my control? This simple question can help you regain your power, no matter how overwhelming things might seem. When you feel discomfort or struggle, remember, it's a sign of growth. Just like a seed has to break through the soil to become a tree, we sometimes have to break through our old habits, beliefs, and routines to grow into something better. The Stoics understood that hardship is not something to avoid, but something to accept. It's a part of life's natural flow. So instead of resisting it, you embrace it, knowing it will make you stronger and wiser. Take a moment and reflect. Are you holding on to things that no longer serve you? Maybe it's an old job, a toxic relationship, or a way of thinking that's keeping you stuck. The Stoics encourage us to release what doesn't help us grow. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about making room for what truly matters. And sometimes, the only way to move forward is to let go of the past. When change comes knocking, don't panic. Step back and breathe. The Stoics teach us to keep a calm mind, even when the storm is raging around us. If you stay centered and focused, you'll be able to navigate through any challenge life throws at you. Remember, change isn't something to fear. It's an opportunity to evolve into the best version of yourself. As you embrace change, focus on building your inner strength. Stoicism isn't about avoiding pain or difficulty. It's about how you handle it. With the right mindset, you can turn any obstacle into a lesson. Whether it's losing a job, dealing with a personal setback, or simply feeling lost in life, it's all part of the process of becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient. So, as you face the signs of change in your life, remember this: you are in control of how you respond. And when you choose to respond with strength, wisdom, and clarity, you'll find that change doesn't have to be scary. In fact, it can be the catalyst for the greatest transformation of your life. Now that you've discovered these 8 powerful signs, take a moment and reflect on your own life. Have you noticed any of these changes happening to you? Are you ready to embrace the transformation that's about to unfold? I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share which of these signs resonated with you the most. Let's talk about how you can harness the power of change and take control of your future. If you found this video valuable, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that can help you level up in life. Don't miss out on the next video where we dive even deeper into Stoic wisdom. You've got this. Keep evolving, and I'll see you in the next one.